I'm the oldest lawyer in this Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. All the people that I started handling this matter since 2014, 15, they have all left. All the new lawyers there now, they met me there.
Why did they leave?
When I'm traveling outside, my body will be telling me that Maxwell, you don't belong here. Their weather, their food, their language will be, my body will tell me, especially those of us that are born and brought up in the village. So this is our country. And when you see most of us fighting like this, want to get here right, I can't leave another place. I don't know how to manage. Any police officer you see that is using the gun government give him to kill innocent citizens, don't allow them to kill you first. Collect it and kill them first. By an instant that police will tell you if you are coming out, yeah, they say, didn't you know that today is sit at home? A police officer, compliant, banks, schools,
and it could be out of fear.
That is what I'm saying, which means you are incapable.
So that means they fear the leadership of whoever is speaking. That's what that implies.
Which means that is not state actor now. That's not state actor.
Yes, then they fear him enough to know that he could harm them.
What is interested in intention of you making that statement?
So what would be, and I understand what you're saying,
yeah,
the intention of statements, yes, which makes sense, but I'm just wondering what would be the intention of somebody like Nnamdi Kanu when he speaks about people should sit at home and do pretty much little or no work.
For what? Sit at home. Sit at home. It's a voluntary decision. Who is Nnamdi Kanu? Nnamdi Kanu just came, and an average Igbo man felt that he has lost. Nobody is speaking for us. As Nnamdi Kanu came, an Igbo man now
embraced him.
This one that is talking for us, let us support him. That is just it. To me, I may be wrong. If they did not amend the Electoral Act, you won't see me wasting my time to come to do what? Don't you know who will win? If you are a president and you are doing well, and you have a functional healthcare, as you let them to understand, if you are sick, you should. Have you seen Trump going outside America, coming to Nigeria to take medical treatment? No, but you go to France. There is absence of rule of law in Nigeria. There is absence of fundamental rights here. There is
complete absence or just not practicing.
Anyway, when something is 80% is A. The problem of Nigerians, as we speak now, is we lawyers and judges. I'm on A.
How?
Of that.
This is Volume with FemiDlive. Glad you joined in for another edition of an interesting conversation. My guest today is Barrister Maxwell Opara. He's a human rights lawyer, an activist, and as well prefers solutions to some of the challenges along the lines of human rights in Nigeria and internationally. His perspective has varied on various issues, including high-profile cases in Nigeria, and not to mention some of his reservations and views with regards to Nnamdi Kanu's case, one of the biggest law cases that has lingered on for a decade or more in Nigeria. Welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure to be here once again. Thank you for having me.
All right, welcome. So let's start off with talking about the human rights situation in Nigeria, as we've had it over the years. Under different administrations, we've seen different perspectives, different body language, different dispositions. It would be of interest that we've had, including that of the CBN governor, former CBN governor. We've had high-profile cases of such nature, in which some people say, well, the way he was treated was definitely out of place. And many other high-profile cases as we have had in Nigeria. But then, at the baselines, also low-profile cases that we have in Nigeria in prisons that are either not documented or known. Give us a perspective of how Nigeria has fared when it comes to human rights issues thus far.
Well, the issue of human rights is something that cannot be overemphasized. The human rights started from the time of creation by God himself in the Garden of Eden. God knew that Adam has committed the offense. God also knew that Eve has committed offense. It is obvious, the evidence are there. But he still gives them that power to exercise that right. And the number one human rights activist, as far as Maxwell Opara is concerned, is God. God has everything to direct whatever thing that you want to do. But he will allow you to make a choice. That's why he will leave death. He will leave life. That's why he will leave light. He will leave darkness. That's why he will leave the way to righteousness, the way to live a good life. He will also leave a way for destruction. You are here doing this work. Why are you not in the bush kidnapping people? It is your choice. You don't want to go to that lane. That is human right. And God used to cry when he discovered that you don't allow people to exercise their right. Now, from the Bible, it is what we call natural right. It is there in the Bible. Thou shalt not kill.
Which brings me to the story of Cain and Abel.
Yes.
That was a situation that looks like it was never resolved, was it?
Yes, it was. See, let me tell you. You see, he's a merciful God. If God continued to punish us in line with his own standard, there will be no body on earth. No person will be living here on earth. So when you violate, when you go against his will and show remorse, he will bring you back. Now, going there, we'll call it natural life. Natural, given by us by nature. Femi D, without even telling anybody, without even telling you, you know that to kill somebody is bad. Without any law, without going to church, without going to mosque, without doing anything, you know that it is natural right. You know that when you go and collect somebody something that does not belong to you, the person in you, your innermost person will tell you that this thing is not good. These are natural rights. Why these rights are there, people are violating it. People don't know how to do it. Coming into the world gathered in December 10th, 1948, and said, all these rights, let us just come and gather them together and codify them in the law. And that's when we have December 10, 1948, Declaration of Human Rights. Everybody came, all the whole countries came. We are still under colonization then. So, we put everybody consented to that declaration. And they say, oh yeah, go and domesticate it in your own legislation. We have had a lot of constitution, Macpherson Constitution, Richard Constitution, I can go on and on. Then when we come to 1960, when we have our independent constitution, it was documented, it was included. We have 1963, a Republican Constitution, those rights were there. We have 1979 Constitution, which Obasanjo used to swear Shagari in. Those constitution, those rights were there. We have 1989 aborted Constitution. It was also there. Now, when we now come to this particular republic where we are now, 1999, which Abu Salami used, the 1999 Constitution, which Abu Salami used to swear Obasanjo in, all those rights are there. And you see them in chapter 4, from section 33 down to 46. All those right to life, right to dignity of one person, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, all those rights are there.
Which then brings forward, if from 1948, the world adopted it and Nigeria consented, either by proxy or through the leaders that they had,
yes,
it clearly shows that we have a strong foundation when
yes,
it comes to human rights.
Yes.
But do you agree that we practice more than a good percentage of what we have signed on to practice? Do we practice effectively?
I'm coming to that. A family, in a family, you people have 8 families, and you people have a land, and probably they saw oil there. Federal government decided to pay your kindred the money. They paid you people 1 billion naira, and you people are 10 families. You share 100 million. You people use their own to invest. Use your own to better the life of every members of the family. My own family collected our own, and we share it. Some used to go and marry another wife. Some used to go and they change teeth. I've seen somebody collected his own money. He paid his own girlfriend to go to Dubai to go and do breast so that the girlfriend breast will not fall.
Is that a real story?
Yes, it happened live in Abuja here. It happened live. the person gave me a job to do for him. I did that job. They paid him 120 million naira. He gave me only 17 million. I said, thank you, because I never expected that. After 6 months, he was asking me whether I can get 200,000 naira from me. Ask what happened. It's a PA that told me that he squandered that money. In fact, the one that even pending, he sent the girlfriend to Dubai to go and do surgery so that the breast will not fall. It's investment. It depends on how I use my own to complete my wife's school. So it depends on what we want to invest. So that they have given us that human right and decided to mess up with our own. Whom do you blame? And I want to also tell you, because thank God that you brought out this. Tell me any developed country, I will tell you the level of human rights there, how they appreciate human rights there. Human rights is predicated on democracy, predicated on rule of law, it's predicated on fairness. So when we are talking about human rights, that is the term that distinguish Maxwell Opara and Femi D from animal. Otherwise, we are all animal. So they say human right. You don't have animal right. Even if you have animal right, it has a limitation. So that's why you can go to Zuba, but the goat that you see that will be alive in the next 5 minutes is dead. They burn everything, cut it, pack it for you, you put inside the fridge and start eating. You cannot kill a human being like that. So it is human right. If you're a dog, if you want to, as you expected visitor here, if you have a dog, you put your dog and chain your dog. You cannot chain a human being like that. You can chain a goat, you cannot chain a human being like that.
So let me use your phrase, the word chain. Do you think when certain individuals of interests, public interests, are in custody or being accosted in any mannerism, and I do say any mannerism, including military, including spy-like, or in any other form that has existed through various mechanisms of various kinds of government, do you think it's a violation of their rights if, in such instance, the person is of public interest?
Where there is a right, there is a remedy. In every right, there must be an exception. Exceptions are there under Section 46. What are the exceptions? Remember that you have a right to life.
Yes.
But once you kill somebody, that your right to life will be taken from court. Because if you kill, you shall be killed. Remember that you have a freedom of movement. You cannot just move into Femi D's studio anyhow. That's one of the exceptions. You have a right of movement of expression. You cannot just wake up as you have given me this opportunity and start calling people's name, calling people that they are criminals. And when they ask you, say, I'm expressing my right of expression. No. There must be a limit to anything. When you say that you have there are some people in Kuje prison. A couple of days ago, we were there in Kuje prison with CJN, with CJ of FCT. We were there for prison visit to look at their matter. There are some people that are there. Their right of movement has been taken away by courts. Their right of movement has been taken away by law enforcement agents. Now, but when you are taking somebody's right, a client of mine was briefed the day before last week. Okay, today is Friday. That was on Monday. You said that somebody took the company. You arrested him there in Port Harcourt, 28th September 2024. You kept him. As I speak to you, he's still there in the police. Doing what? It's gross violation of rights. Investigate, take him to court, let court convict him so that he will know that, yes, he has exercised that his right of facing the court. Keeping him there. So, please, I'm taking police to court.
Which makes me come back to what you had mentioned, the limits to what you can say. Would you say, for example, Nnamdi Kanu, the build up to the situation where we have him facing legal proceedings now, and I'm taking you way back into the era of his broadcast, era of his dissemination of certain kind of information in which is classified as a breach of national security. Do you think it violated the rights of the country, a country like Nigeria, with the kind and choice of words he used in expressing his opinions, his views, and well, one would say his rights?
Well, I may not go into that particular issue on the following reasons. One, I'm a member of the legal team. I'm not only a member of the legal team, I'm the oldest lawyer in this Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. All the people that I started handling this matter since 2014, 15, they have all left. All the new lawyers there now, they met me there.
Why did they leave?
It's a choice. Either you live on your own or Nnamdi Kanu message, please excuse yourself. You're not giving me what I want. So I don't want to go into that. Now, secondly, the trial is ongoing. And in our ethics, once a matter is in court, you don't speak about it. But I must say, I doubt whether there is any part of Europe that I have not stepped in my leg. And not only stepping in my leg, I have interacted with most of them. I'm a member of International Bar Association Human Rights Committee. We travel almost every 2 months. And when you see what is happening in other nations and compare with what is happening in your own, you feel ashamed. Femi D, last year, November, we went to Mexico for IBA conference. And we are discussing about Human Rights Committee in my own section. So when you want to speak, you take mic, you introduce yourself. And fortunately for me, I was happy. The Fabemi SAN, the Attorney General, was there. The then MBA President Ekpa was there. I think Tambua also was there. I have about some judges were there. Many judges, many SAN, they were there. So when I took on the mic and introduced myself, which country I mentioned Nigeria, you see reaction. You see how people are making jest of us. So I felt somehow as a Nigerian. I said, okay, I have to control myself. I asked my question. And I used that opportunity to ask IBA should help Nigerians. Can't we, as a body of lawyers in the whole world, formulate a policy, go to UN, go to everywhere? If you are in your own country, there is absolute absence of medical, health, education, amenities, absence of a human right, you will be restricted from traveling out of your country. Or better still, all these countries, the Europe, the UK, the US, will stop giving you visa, especially medical tourism. Can't we do in that way? I was bold enough to mention the immediate past president and the current president, President Tinubu. I use them as a case study. I say, I can't see the reason why.
Do you mean about their medical leave?
Yes, because if you're a president, and you are doing well, and you have a functional healthcare, as you let them to understand. If you are sick, you should. Have you seen Trump going outside America, coming to Nigeria to take medical treatment? No, but you go to France. So I presented it. Now, back to what we are talking about, so that I don't deviate. Human right is one of the things that will project you. Human right is one as a country. If, let me just give Simon Ekpa.
Okay, that's a good example. I was going to go there.
As an instance, I went to Finland by March last year. I finished my program in Paris. I went to Finland. I went to understand their own judicial system. And I was made to understand that Finland is the only country in Europe that doesn't have bilateral agreement with any other country. What am I trying to say? So when they say that Finland are going to extradite Nnamdi Kanu, I look at them and laugh.
But Finland is part of EU, and I presume when you're part of a body, you're subject to some of the laws and regulations around that body.
That will not stop you from being a sovereign state. You are still a sovereign state. You know what is good for you. And as a matter of fact, international law is what I research on it in my PhD.
Okay, but I still want you to finish your point about Finland and their laws and why they will not extradite Simon Ekpa.
So that's where I'm coming. So in the course of my research during my PhD, I discovered that extradition is a very serious law. And one of the things they consider, you are a number one Boko Haram known in Nigeria. You have destroyed life. You have destroyed property. Now you have run into a particular country. Let me just use Kenya as an instance. And you are caught there as a fugitive. The extradition law said Kenya people will now apply, the country, assuming that you're in Nigeria, you apply to Kenya, telling them that this particular person, Mr. A, is a terrorist. We are looking for him. Now, Kenya the law said upon receiving your application,
Request, yes,
they will arrest the fugitive. And they took the fugitive and take the fugitive to their own court, that with jurisdiction. Example, if it's Nigeria Federal High Court. Now you attach the investigation report in that application. You attach the charge you have prepared for the person. You attach everything, evidence.
But if that is the scenario, I'm just thinking of Interpol also being involved.
I'm coming. So they're working together. Because remember that it's Interpol that will still come and pick the person. So when you now attach all these documents, the law said, extradition law said, upon seeing all these things with your evidence, they will now approach court. The court will now ask the person, fair hearing, you committed this offense. Tell us the reason why we should not take you to your country, or to the country in question, for you to go and face a trial. After hearing from you, the next step is, one, to check that country whether there is human rights there. I thank God that you brought in this issue, and I believe that our leaders will hear it. They will check the level of human rights there. If you are the country that observe human rights, that one is one. Then they will not check whether your life will be protected there. After checking that your life will be protected, they will not check whether you have justice there.
So what if in a scenario, and I'm following you carefully,
yes,
when it comes to procedure,
yes,
and the procedure is on one part,
yes,
and there's also the contingency of if such a person, even when there are procedures around what they can do or whether they're fugitive or not, if such a person still continues to embark on, let's say, a call to action, a certain level of call to action, where what is being accused of...
Remember
yes,
that the person is already in the custody in that country.
Yes, but has not hesitated to possibly continue to disseminate his call to action through his disciples, if I would say.
No, that one is a different ballgame.
Why is it different?
The different ballgame is that the person is, you said you want to extradite him to the country. That is the issue. We are talking about, I want to link it up to tell you the reason why human rights, because we are talking about human rights. I'm just giving you implications why you should ensure that you observe human rights in your country. I wish that I have time, so that it's good that when this kind of program, especially human rights, you let people understand. I'm still at the international level. I've not come to the domestic level. Why I'm talking about this international level is that it's the one that affects I and you. It's not enough for you to go and convince somebody to come, a foreign investor, to come and invest in your country. There are some things that they will check, especially human rights, rule of law. So after all these things, the law said, having checked this thing, if they discover that there is no human right in your country, that country will not check whether they have the same law with that country, especially Kenya, using Kenya and
Using
Nigeria,
Kenya,
and
Nigeria,
Nigeria.
example.
Whether that terrorism offense which you have sent, that there is evidence, whether Kenya can try it.
So
if Kenya can try it, the law said try him in Kenya.
So let me understand a little bit more, and I'm trying to understand perspective. And I do know, for example, Simon Ekpa's case with Finland. I don't know if it's a case, but it's of interest to organizations around the world. Both some of the UN organizations and every of the other bodies. And I can imagine that if that was done against Finland, certain statements about what needs to be done, right, against Finland as a country, will they sit and be quiet about it? And then it brings forward the question about, what about in good faith? If peradventure, I mean, there are cases such as Julian Assange, right? Leaked cases, he has human rights, he stays in an embassy. I don't even know which embassy he is now, but it's of interest that when you do disseminate information, whether true or not true, or you have statements that have strong implications to national security of another country, there should be response from the host country. Don't you think so?
And Femi D, we are talking about law. We're talking about the rule of law. Femi D, do you know that if we go out here and go for bid, we saw armed robbers killing people alive. The judge saw the armed robbers kill the person with the AK-47. The Attorney General saw it. The Nigerian Bar Association saw it. Everybody witnessed it. Evidence are there. The law said the procedure must be followed. You must get him arrested. That's what we are talking about law. You must get him arrested. Not only getting him arrested, you must subject him to investigation. Police will investigate him. He will write a statement. After writing statement, he will bring his own lawyer to give him fair hearing. After giving him fair hearing, you arraign him in that court. Remember that the judge, when he was going to work, witness everything.
Yes.
The judge will allow prosecution to prove his case. Femi D, do you know that when you go to court and the man said, guilty or not guilty, I'm guilty, convict me. The law said, judge, you cannot convict. Prosecution, prove your case. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying.
I do follow you.
The law will say, prosecution, prove your case. And if you charge him for armed robbery and murder, and there is 4 elements for you to prove murder, there's 4 elements for you to prove armed robbery. If you prove 3.5, if you do not prove the other half, you'll be set free. Remember that he has accepted, he has pleaded guilty. Court will say, prove your case. And where he failed to prove all those elements, court will change that he's guilty to no guilty.
So despite the fact that the person on trial says, I am guilty,
you prove it.
The prosecution has to prove it.
You must prove it.
And if they can't prove it completely, the judge will rule against it.
We convert that he's guilty to non-guilty and discharge him.
It brings me forward to the question of some of the arrests in the country as we have it going on, including Nnamdi Kanu, which you one of the
do you know why I'm giving you this instance?
Yes.
Do you know why I don't want to bring Nnamdi Kanu's own? Because it's on trial. But I'm giving you a scenario that is related to that.
Oh yes, I understand the scenario game, and I do believe the others are following through.
So people want Simon Ekpa to come down here and face his trial. That's what people. That's
really.
That is the question. Now, tell me the reason why Finland refused. The woman who was the ambassador of Finland that time, when they met him, he said Nigeria should do their own. Nobody is happy. I'm living in Nigeria here as an ambassador of a Finnish government to this place. But Nigeria should do their own. What is their own? The first time they took Nnamdi Kanu to court in their own, Nnamdi Kanu brought only 2 judgments. Look at the 2 judgments. Court ordered that Simon Ekpa brought the 2 judgments. Only 2 judgments. Show the court. Look at the 2 judgments given by the court in Nigeria, asking that they should release Nnamdi Kanu. They refuse. So, and this and the country that are civilized, and that is what is making me to be.
So there's a mountain of evidence and this evidence, and I do say, because I'm just following through with some of, and I know it's an ongoing case, so there's a limit to how we could put perspective to it.
Yes.
But for the purpose of understanding how things are so far, last week it was about the fact that, he said certain words during the broadcast. And I just want to talk about the broadcast because now the broadcast is being brought into court. But let's talk about the broadcast, which is the Radio Biafra and all those kind of conversations that were held. And I'm taking, because it's a case, the federal government versus Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
But I'm just thinking about Nigerians. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's perspective on Nigerians, Nnamdi's perspective on the concept of the Southeast Bloc pretty much standing in its own, and his method of administering what some of his followers should do. And this is completely out of the court case because it's a federal government versus that. So we're treating about Nnamdi Kanu, Nigerians, and his method of saying do this, do that.
We are still talking about the same thing. This is our own country. My friend, I think I left here last night. I left here around after 11 December in this hotel there. My friend came in from Canada and he's traveling tomorrow. He said that I must come today. And that night, I said, today I won't have, he said I should come. He said I should come to Canada. I said I will be in Canada. We are having IBA in Toronto. I will be there. But I won't stay more than 2 weeks. The point I'm trying to make is that when I'm traveling outside, my body will be telling me that, Maxwell, you don't belong here. Their weather, their food, their language will be, my body will tell me, especially those of us that are born and brought up in the village. So this is our country. And when you see most of us fighting like this, want to get here right, I can't leave another place. I don't know how to manage. What we are talking about is that, Femi D, when you have a good case and channel it from a very wrong angle, Femi D will lose it. Femi D, that is your handset there. If I collect that handset now and running and they're pursuing me, you use something and hit me, I fall. And something happened to me. Nobody will talk about this handset again.
But typically.
You know what I'm saying? Don't channel your case from a very wrong angle.
So are you saying...
And don't put yourself in a situation whereby you will not be trusted.
So are you implying, and I still want to go back to...
Yes, I'm coming. Now, in law, criminal law, there's what we call artificials and menstrual. Menstrual is the intention of committing the act. Your intention of
premeditated murder.
Yes, you committing the act. Artificials is the act of committing that act. Let me just give you this instance. Though you people will pay me for this criminal law.
Oh, yes, we'll take the lectures.
When I take this handset now,
okay,
and be moving out.
That one is the phone, not my glasses. That's what will be a challenge.
Yes. Now, they say, where is the Femi D? Where is my handset? They say, no, the only person that I saw in this city is Maxwell. You saw me outside. You act there, you look for the handset, you did not see. Finally, they caught me and searched me and saw the handset. Remember that? You people started beating me. What court is looking at? Can you tell me? Why did you take this handset? That's the only thing court is interested. That's the only thing police is interested. I know that it's not my own. I collected the handset to call my wife, to tell my wife that my handset is
But that's speculative in law.
Excuse me. I heard them say, remember that is my statement.
Yes.
That's my statement. That's my defense. Now, Femi D said it's not true.
I'm saying it's speculative.
I heard them saying, you said it's not true. Did you tell me? The question, you asked me, did you ask me for the handset? I did not ask you. Then court is investigating whether it is true. If court was able to establish that, if I was able to prove that I took this handset to make call and return it, there is no intention of stealing. There is no intention of stealing. Now, what am I trying to say? When you make a comment, if this cameraman touch me, I'll go kill him here. I will kill him here. In fact, your days are numbered. You do listen to me, your days are numbered. If you last the whole of today, call me bastard. Remember that is a statement you made. And the person died. The person moved and died. Who was he had last encounter. This person said, I know what I'm saying. Remember that he has made a comment. They cannot convict the person because of making that comment. The question there is that why did he say such a thing? Probably this man tried to rape the wife. And they caught him. So he now make all those statements. Court is interested in intention of you making that statement.
So what would be, and I understand what you're saying,
Yeah,
the intention of statements,
yes.
which makes sense, but I'm just wondering what would be the intention of somebody like Nnamdi Kanu when he speaks about people should sit at home and do pretty much little or no work.
For what?
For what would be the intention?
Oh, that is what I'm saying now. Anyway, just like I thank God those evidence now are in public domain. We can now people can access it. And the evidence are there. He made his comment. What did they establish? ESN. The SSS tendered their evidence, including the question. They asked him all this question. You made this statement, and fortunately, all these statements he made, anyone he made, he told you the reason. Anyone he made, tell you the reason. Anyway, I'm saying so.
In which he said yes, for example, to a few of them.
Of course, when you said, if you see any police officer, kill. Police officers are established to protect life and property. Police stations are established to protect life and property. Any police officer you see that is using the gun government give him to kill innocent citizens, don't allow them to kill you first. Collect it and kill them first. Any police station you see that they are there killing innocent persons, burn it down.
That means he's made himself a judge of what should apply.
We are still talking about the same thing. Now, the question there is that what is their intention of saying that? The question, has there been extrajudicial killing that made you to say such a thing? The question there is that when you see any army that is trying to kill you, was there anything? Is there Operation Python Dance? Was there people, about 38 persons, killed for no just for something made somebody to say something? You establish ESN. What's the meaning of ESN? Eastern Security Network. And their agenda, their mode, their whatever thing, the intention of establishing them, you explain it. It is not Biafran army, as most of you explain. This is something the Southeast governor is supposed to establish, as Akere Dolo has done in the Ondo. Since they are not doing it, we cannot fold our hands saying that we are looking for Biafra, and the people that we say that we are fighting for are dying. We have to establish it, and we are taking the law, we are taking a bill to the various state house of assembly, believing that they will enact it. But their own is to go to the bush. Also one, people were killed, raped, women cannot go to farm.
So just like you said, I mean, those are some of the things in public domain.
Yes.
And there's debates about how it was done, why it was done, who commanded it to be done.
Yes.
But it's the part about the human rights of people in, for example, in the Southeast, when they do say, we want to go to market, we want to go to school, we want to do our daily biddings for a typical Monday. Do you think some of those statements that kind of instruct to say, if you see anybody moving on this our restricted day or on this assumed restricted day, that such a person should be dealt with? Do you think the human rights of those who wanted to move and then were dealt with was violated?
That is where violation of right comes in, which he never said. That's where his own is quite different from that of.
You're saying he never asked for people who violate the sit-at-home order.
Sit at home. Sit at home. It's a voluntary decision. As I speak to you on Monday, some people go to market, some people don't go.
So when you do say it's voluntary, for those who are scared and for those who did not do what they wanted to do.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you see, when you believe in a cause, there are some people who are members of IPOB, disciples of Nnamdi Kanu, that believe that what he's doing is good and we need their support. And now, Nnamdi Kanu, just like as a person, cannot be everywhere. He lives in London. And he said, now that they have killed, like now, somebody issued press this the 30th of May. They are going to observe, sit at home for those who died during the war and in the course of struggle. Now, and you see that this thing is for and against. Some people may not belong to believe in what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. That does not mean that he don't have supporters. But Femi D, what I'm trying to say is that a good government, Femi D, I don't know whether you have thought about this thing, that a non-state actor will give order. By omission or commission, people will obey. And you give counter order, nobody will obey. I don't know whether you're getting one.
Oh, yes, that's continued to be on top of my mind.
Yes.
That means it's quite influential, if I would say, the non-state actor.
Inflation is failure of leadership. Femi D, in your house, put bread geisha.
But some would also say it's a call to break law and order.
No, sir.
Why not?
It is a failure in the leadership. Who is Nnamdi Kanu? Nnamdi Kanu just came. And an average Igbo man felt that he has lost. Nobody is speaking for us. As Nnamdi Kanu came, an Igbo man now
embraced him.
This one that is talking for us, let us support him. That is just it. My father used to, when he was alive, he said, we put evening mass because morning mass was not complete. If everybody come in that morning mass and we do so, there should be no reason for evening mass. And when you call yourself a governor, you say that when they release Nnamdi Kanu, you will have inflation. Ejife, when he was alive, they asked him in television, who is the leader of the Igbos? He said, Nnamdi Kanu for now is the leader of the Igbos. I'm not here to lie. They asked him why. He said that from Ikulobe, former governor of Anambra State. If I come at Ikulobe, you will not see 10 persons that will follow me. If I leave Ikulobe and go to Afadibeku, Nnamdi Kanu's matter, you will not see 0 to 10 persons that will follow me. But if Nnamdi Kanu leave Afadibeku and come to Ikulobe, Ikulobe will shut down. Who is a leader? Who is a leader? So the point I'm making is that when you are saying that somebody is issuing order from prison, from Finland, from London, and people are following, it's a complete failure. To an extent that police will tell you if you are coming out, they say, didn't you know that today is sit at home? A police officer, compliant, banks, schools,
and it could be out of fear.
That is what I'm saying, which means you are incapable.
So that means they fear the leadership of whoever is speaking. That's what that implies.
Which means that is not state actor now. That's not state actor.
Yes,
then
they fear him enough to know that he could harm them.
Which means the non-state actor you have subjected to the government of that non-state actor. You have subjected your government to him. If he will say yes, and the people will believe, and you say no, people will not believe you.
And should that be so? Because if a government were to, in quote now, and this is just simulating examples, to subject itself to the authority of a non-state actor, and this is just a statement, not a fact now, were to subject themselves to the authority of a non-state actor, one would then wonder about the fact that, is that not almost the same thing that what would we describe as terrorism? When you take over the territory, the authority, and all those kind of measures that a government normally takes on, and you take it on, is that not terrorism? Because I do know, for example, Nnamdi Kanu is facing a 10 counts charge on terrorism and felony.
I have told you, I don't want us to be dragging into issue because this matter is in court. But I'm just giving you analysis.
Yes, I'm following you, and I'm trying to be educated.
I don't want to use...
So terrorism in this case would be what?
No, I don't want to go into that. This matter is in court. And as a lawyer, because I came here to talk about human rights.
Yes,
as a lawyer, I know why you are using this one. Try to balance it. And why I cannot go into deep. Well, that's why I'm using other instances.
Please share an instance that helps me understand terrorism in this case.
Now, terrorism is a crime with its own element. Element of terrorism, how to prove. Remember that, let me just, so that I want to bring it down to people. If you see a woman now, you grab the woman, you look, you tore his clothes, tore his bra. You hear what I'm saying? You drag with her, you suppress her, gra, 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 gra. You ejaculate in her laps, and you are arrested, and they prefer a charge of rape against you. Do you know that you are going out?
Yes.
Why?
Because the law does not, it speaks about rape there has to be some form of penetration.
Good. I don't know that you are even a professor of law. So, you know what I'm saying? Because you should have charged the person for indecent assault. You should have charged the person for violence against person, not rape. Because the main cardinal proof of rape is upon penetration. And when you now you draft the charge, you rape somebody, you file. Lucky enough, the girl is still a virgin. They want this, there's everything. There was no penetration. The case has collapsed. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes,
so,
I do.
So one of the ingredients of rape is upon penetration. Then ingredients of terrorism is there in the law. You know what constitutes terrorism. I'm in my house. I made a call. Everybody in Owerena should go out and destroy government house, kill everybody, and people move. You say that I've committed terrorism. No, I don't want to go into that because terrorism has its own. Then two, when that person who made that comment is being arrested, the thing there is that what is the intention of making that statement? What even gave those people adults, right to go and carry out that act? There is an adage in my place. Somebody whose father sent to go and steal normally use leg to break door. Somebody whose father sent to steal, they use leg break the door because of what? My father sent me. I don't know whether you are.
I do follow you.
So now, when you made such a statement and the people obey, who are you? What is that you are doing that I'm not doing? I was a person that have the authority. You are not state actor. Nobody elected you as the governor of Abia State. And the governor of Abia State. You are not the president of Ahanes and Igbo. Where are you operating? A freedom fighter from nowhere. People are believing you. The government should have buried their head in shame and look at the issue. I wrote a memo. I told Barr, though I know that government, they don't read papers, they don't read memo. I say, if you want to know the person that will help you in the South, is Nnamdi Kanu. Work with him. Forget about all these people. Forget about red cap. Red cap is not 1,000 naira. I be there selling 2,000 naira to the market. It doesn't move. There are something that somebody will look at you and say, you are not my father, look at my father. You are a biological child. You say, I will disown you. You say, you are disowning me that have already disfathered you. We have some comedian. You can use it to make, I will disown you, yes, I will disfather you. So there is something that you are doing. What you should do is that you should go back to your house. Every day, 24 hours, your children are in your neighbor's room. Your children are in your neighbor's house. You have not asked yourself, what is that we are not doing well? That is the failure of leadership.
Okay.
Have you asked yourself, as we speak now, Attorney General said, hey, you fled on news the other day. People are calling me and say, Finland, extraditing Nnamdi Kanu.
Simon Ekpa.
Simon Ekpa. Finland, extraditing Simon Ekpa. You people are jokers in this country. What do you think you take Finland for? They are watching what is happening in Nigeria. They are watching. The Kenya people that brought Nnamdi Kanu, allowing Nnamdi Kanu to be kidnapped. Do you think that they are finding it funny? They are not finding it funny. I've been in Kenya. We're following the matter. It's not easy as you are seeing it. Because one, it has also affected their own country. It shows that nobody will enter your country and be safe. The due process must be followed. Don't you know when they arrested Igboho? at the Benin Republic. Malami quickly sent the jet as he sent in that of Nnamdi Kanu. What did the Benin Republic do? Say, no, they're not extraditing anybody. They kept him there because there is absence of rule of law in Nigeria. There is absence of fundamental rights here. There is
complete absence or just not practicing.
Anyway, when something is 80% is A. If you made an A in a subject, you are a guru in that subject. Your A may be 70, maybe 75, maybe 80, but it's on a majority. Because if a situation whereby, do you know why Trump contested the election? Trump contested the election because of one comment he made. And the judge saw reason with him. Trump said, when they brought the charge against him, he shouldn't have contested. Trump said, this charge was brought to deprive me the right to exercise my right of contesting. Somebody that, right, fundamental right. God said, yes, it's true. Has he not been sentenced? He has been sentenced, yet he's the president exercising that right. And that is one of the things that is keeping America going today. So if we come in this country and somebody said anything, you say, go and shoot. Are we under military? When somebody says something, that's why, have you forgotten that the Barr and the Emefiele connived? When I said the worst corruption department you have in Nigeria is a legal department of CBN, I proved it. I attacked Barr. You are not qualified to be the EFCC chairman. Both of them connived.
That was the former chairman for those.
They were former chairman. They connived and preferred charge against me. I finished a national industrial court. They kept with me. They following the charge, saying that I'm giving false information against government. When Emefiele was arrested, nobody wanted to speak about it. I mobilized lawyers. I mobilized civil society group. We carried out a protest. It was after that protest on Thursday, they arrested Emefiele on Monday. They arrested Emefiele on Thursday. When Emefiele, they granted him bail, EFCC rearrested. Granted him bail, EFCC rearrested. I wrote a petition and followed it up in the House. The House now invited the EFCC chairman. What is the problem? The arrest man, you arrest him. What's the problem? He tendered apology. Emefiele today is moving as a free person. That is, I'm not saying that somebody that committed crime should go free. I'm not a criminal. I don't commit crime. If somebody who committed a crime, allow him to follow that due process. That is our own challenge. That's what we are quarreling for. When you say something, that's what you see that the Nnamdi Kanu was shouting in court, pushing everybody, saying, because he felt that the law has failed him. And Nnamdi Kanu said, you shouldn't talk while I'm talking. Personally, I don't see it as anything because that young man has been injured. That young man has served the highest injustice one can talk of. So because of as he writes, you shouldn't talk while I'm talking, then I will not abandon him, which means somebody who don't have power to fight used to say that is rather they fight trouble.
Let me take you to the issue of rights as we have it for the very uncommon people and people who are possibly with low profile cases. Our prisons are really full with people who don't even have court case numbers, whose issues have not been examined by lawyers, not to talk of, them being set free on bail when, you go to the police. That landscape is really daunting. And I wonder the efforts of someone like you, quite influential with the NBA, especially NBA Abuja, where you have your efforts going with regards to human rights. How is that going? Can you provide clarity on why we have so many backlog of cases not resolved in one way, or cases not filed, if I would say?
The problem of Nigerians, as we speak now, is we lawyers and judges.
How?
Of that. The problem of Nigerians, I'm a lawyer, my wife is a lawyer, we don't do any other thing. My son will soon join us as a lawyer. The problem of Nigerians, as we speak, as we are talking, Nigeria now, we lawyers and the judges. Now, I will give you one instance. The law has provided everything. In Constitution, When you arrest somebody, you don't keep him more than 48 hours, or more than, in short, no more than 48 hours. 24 hours, they reduce if it's 48 hours. But go to prison, you see somebody in the prison without being in court, in police custody for months. Yet we have NBA Human Rights Committee. Now, I just give you one that is happening now, one that is happening. Somebody that was arrested 20th September 2024. Femi D, how many months do we get? How many months do we have now for us to get another 20th September? No charge, no trial. He's there in Asokoro police station. What are you investigating? Then when somebody go to court, police will go to court, you give him court order. There was somebody, the guy normally do this roofing. Somebody gave him money. He did the roofing. So the guy now said that that is not the pattern he asked him to do. He said, okay, this is, we discuss this, I send you this. The man said that he should return him money. He said, okay, how will I get the money? He said, I will deal with you. The next thing, he wrote a petition against him, used his contact at DSSS. He's a member of IPOB. DSSS came to his house at Ikenebu, 3 a.m. in the morning. Pick him. That was Olo. They look at this man, go to DSSS office, they say he's not there. Go everywhere, say he's not there. After 6 months, they concluded that the guy is dead. Now, the family, one guy in the DSSS office headquarters from Benue, he was detained. So when he was released, he called the wife, hide the number. Are you the wife of this? Are you the wife of this person? He said, yes. But my husband, your husband, is telling me, say, I should tell you that he's alive. I was with him at DSSS headquarters, Abuja. He said that people should go and look for a lawyer to go call for him. They engaged me. I went to DSSS. They said that the man is not there. I have to file enforcement of fundamental rights against DSSS, serve them. Lo and behold, only DSSS now to file their defense, saying that the man is with them, that they kept the man with court order. Court gave an order that they should keep him for 90 days. After 90 days, they went back again. They went back to go and do this thing. I said, sure. When I saw this defense, before Justice Obonna, a judge that has breath gave such an order without seeing this man in court, whether there is somebody that is answered HWHF. Femi D, am I being justified? I'm just telling you why I say so. A judge that has blood gave order to keep somebody for 90 days, 3 months, subject to renewal.
In law, what would have been the ideal period in which a judge would have allowed for such retainment?
The judge has a right to give an order. But what I'm asking you that, what would have stopped you from saying, who is this person? Is he a human being in the first instance? I want to see him. At least to hear from him. Something happened there. Something happened there in Kuje prison the first day. A guy is moving with a girl. The parents felt that there are way to do. They said they don't want the girl. The guy with the guy. The girl said, that's the person I want to keep as a boyfriend that may lead us to marriage. They now use police to get the guy arrested. Pay police money. Police file rape. Have you attempted rape? Since 2020. And then the guy in court. Come today, come tomorrow, come today, come tomorrow, come today, come tomorrow. Very influential. So what CJ was doing is that when they call you, you narrate what happened. After narrating, CJ said, is that what happened? Said, who is prosecuting? They say, my Lord, we are going to this. CJ shook his head. I hereby release you. There was citation in tears for 5 good years. 5 good years. That's how somebody lost his life with court order. Application made by a lawyer. as I'm talking to you, one is happening now. I'm not saying that somebody that committed a crime should go free. Why do you keep him? You discover that the offense they accuse you of is 5 months or 6 months with an option of fine, but you have stayed there for 6 years because you don't have anybody. We need holistic holistic approach and overhauling our judicial system. If I'm a judge, I know that they will not like my face. They may sack me in time. There are some things that you cannot do. I will go out of my way to verify every matter. I will go out of my way to verify every matter. And if I discover that you committed that crime, no matter if you like, go and bring out a ballot, bring all the whole SN in Nigeria, you are going.
So judges in Nigeria claim they're overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed by who?
The number of cases that they have to attend to.
What are the cases? What are the cases? Why is it that if you come to this court, they will normally give you 4 months adjournment, but if you come to this court, this one normally give you 2 weeks adjournment? When you are filing a frivolous application you want to use to do this thing, there's some judges who will ask you, this case you are bringing, there are some judges, when you file a matter in their court, the first day the matter is being mentioned, he will ask you 1 or 2 questions. He will ask you 1 or 2 questions. Counsel, I've seen your reliefs. Did you advise your mind to this? What happened to this? What happened to this? What happened to this? Well, is your case? I was in a IPOB High Court yesterday. We are doing a particular matter. Somebody collected money from my client estate. You want to give them since 2015. Where is the house? No way. Where is the money? No way. 2014. Police have advised you. Police charge you to court. How are you doing the thing? We tender documents you gave us, tender everything, that there was no even land in the first. Do you know what the judge said? They said the case, I don't understand. Drink after cross-examination. So this is how it's supposed to be. The point I'm making is that, Femi D, if the judiciary, like somebody believes that you're a senator, I will deal with you. You go and make this. You should be able to verify what happened. What is happening in the Southeast now is that if you want to wicked somebody, just write a petition, tell the person, tell the DSS that is a member of IPOB or ESN. That's all. And when the judge, just in the north, tell the person that is a member of Boko Haram operating in Igboho, and when the judge sees the Boko Haram, the judge will be careful not to release the person. But most of the times, you calm down, carry out your investigation. When they bring the person, ask the person question. They say, my friend, wait. There's one judge, I won't mention his name. When he's in FCT High Court here, come, are you owing him?
Very direct.
Are you owing him? He said, yes. When are you going to pay him? You are living in his house. You are owing for 6 months. Somebody's house that he built, that he wants to use. There are some things that he doesn't do in his court. His own is justice. Pure justice. If you say you want to, my Lord, law, there's something that is supposed to do like this, you know, do like this. So, no. After here, you go to where you do your law. Here is justice. Practical justice, as our forefathers, they normally do it. Say you have backlog of cases. Cases for what? You see that these 2 persons are contesting for land. They are in your court. The documents are there. Carry the papers. This paper is given to you by FCDA, signed by the minister. This particular paper is given to you by Madaki, Abina Emia, Abimengwa. You should be able to know who owns the land lawfully. Why adjoining? Adjoining for what? You should be able to know who owns the land. Counsel, you brought this thing, And when you tell them like this, they should know where you're going. And they won't allow you. Because what I'm saying this thing is that if you people know that they are coming here with frivolous, that's what Supreme Court is doing now. If you bring a frivolous matter, what they are awarding now, the least Supreme Court can award now is 2 million naira to be paid by the lawyer. That's how it's supposed to be.
A fine against the lawyer.
To be paid by the lawyer. If you go to Supreme Court now, before they were, I think they were in 2006 cases. I think somebody told me that they are now coming to 2018. The new rules now are striking. Lawyers are withdrawing their matters. Because if you allow them to strike out the matter, they will strike it out with cost. That's how it's supposed to be. So, as a judge, there are some things. If Femi D, you are a judge, they brought somebody for 8 months in the police. Even if the person committed the highest citizen, out of annoyance, you may ask the person to go. Because if you have a bad case, what stop you from bringing this man to court? You kept him there for 8 months. Doing what? You are exploiting the family. When the family want to see him, you have already given nobody should see him. They must get consent from me. I have to come and see you at first headquarters. Say, how much do you have from me? You give you 10K. You now drive them to that place. They'll go and see him.
That's systemized corruption.
Yes. So the judges and lawyers, election petition, uncle.
Oh, yeah.
What are we talking about? You saw what happened. You look for technicality for what? And they're saying that people should come out to vote. Voting for what? I was in a Arise television when they said, well, to me, I may be wrong. If they did not amend the Electoral Act, you won't see me wasting my time. Coming to do what? Don't you know who will win? That Electoral Act, amending it, where Supreme Court have said that it's not compulsory because Electoral Act does not contain it. Enact it in the law. Let it be compulsory that any result that was not uploaded from polling booth should not be counted. Nigeria will come out. Why did Nigeria come out to vote in 2023? I gave it to Nigeria. It's because of the token that they will be uploading from this thing, only for you to say that it's not compulsory. And somebody left to UK, come here, register, came back to come and collect his PVC, came back to come and vote. At the end of the day, you have the guts to tell the person that is not compulsory. Why don't you carry that money, go to motherless babies home, share them that 300 and something billion naira they are budgeting for INEC, so that INEC will just sit down and appoint somebody? Why should you risk people's life? Why should you want people to? My sister left to my house to register in Saburi that early morning, 5 a.m. According to her, she said she had to walk from Cuba down to Express to enter motor. So we have to go where they were living before, from Massacre to Pape, slept in the primary school for them to vote.
Yes, there were all kinds of experiences.
Then why should you do your fellow human being that kind of thing? And they brought the matter to you, and they are saying this one did not do this one. Realize the justice.
Barrister Maxwell Opara, we have to leave it at that on this very edition of.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And that's it. This is Volume with FemiDlive. Stay on. There's still more to come right here. Keep your comments coming in on various platforms, as we would love to hear from you.